What's up, YouTube? Travion from the Poor Man's Podcast here. The following is a clip from a full interview I did with JT the accountant. For access to this full interview and many others, click the link in the description below to become a Patreon. Enjoy the clip. Let's say JT gets $10,000 from the PPP loan, right?
Mm-hmm.
JT just decided to go rogue. He got the whatever. He got the 10 grand.
Right.
He wants JT smart. He
Right.
want to spend the money wisely. What would you do to invest that $10,000 if you had $10,000 to put somewhere to better your life? I'm not saying it gotta be straight into investments, but just what would you do to better your life if you had 10 grand saved up?
All right, this is what I do. First off, I'm going to give a shout out to Orlando. Orlando is a great content creator. He's someone that I know in real life. The brother knows a lot about real estate. So if you're interested in trying to get into real estate legitimately, I would say make sure that you subscribe to Orlando. This is what I do. Let's say I've got a client that comes to me and they inherited $10,000, right? Because it happens sometimes. Maybe a grandparent, somebody has a life insurance policy, a small one, not a huge one. You're not a millionaire, but you got $10,000. And people, life insurance is a form of non-taxable income. So if someone leaves you a life insurance policy and they cut you that check, that is not taxable income. So you're already starting on top. Right. So you got $10,000 and you don't even have to put that on your tax return for that year. You just got $10,000. What do you do? Here's the issue. It's no cookie cutter thing because personal financial planning is just that. It's personal. And here's why. Maybe I can find some way that I can create a portfolio that can earn you 8%, 10%. But what if you got debt on a credit card that's at 29%, right? So you got debt that's growing at 29%. That maybe that's $6,000 or $7,000 earning an interest of 29% that you got to pay back. You got $10,000 that you went to go see a financial planner, but you didn't tell them about the debt. Right. So they put you into an investment that's earning you 12. 12% is good money for an investment.
Yeah, that's good. Oh yeah.
12% is good money. But your investment is not going to outpace the debt that you already have. So what I would probably say is I got to look at the full picture here. Before I try to put you in some sort of investment, I need to see if you got any debt, because it might be smarter. Maybe we don't pay it all the way off, but we pay it down at least so that you're not being outpaced by the growth of your debt. Here's another issue. Let's say there is no debt. We take debt off the table. There's another thing that I have to look at. I have to see if you have an emergency savings fund. And here's why. Let's say you got that $10,000, but you have no money in savings, right? I then go and help create a portfolio for you, some mixture between stocks, bonds, mutual funds, something that can get you a nice 10 to 12% rate. But then an emergency happens. Let's say you lose your job. Let's say you get into a car accident. Let's say there's a worldwide pandemic and you're out of work for a few months. What do we do then? Because when emergencies happen, it tends to happen when the market isn't at its best.
Right.
When emergencies happen,
that's very true there.
Right. They tend to happen when the market's at a low point. So what are we going to do now? We're going to exit you from your investment where you lose money on the investment, right? So even though now we have to hurry up and scramble to get you liquid, because you're going from having investments in securities, but it's not so much liquid. You can't pay your mortgage or your car note with your Apple stock. You have to sell it. And if you're selling it at a loss and then you pay your bills, now you lost both ends because now you got a cash outflow and you lost. So I'm probably going to check and see if you have an emergency savings fund. And as a financial planner, we tell our clients you need to have anywhere between 3 to 6 months of your regular bills saved up before you even start investing in most situations. Now, if you have some sort of incentive with your job, maybe it's a 401k and they tell you they're going to match 3% that you put in, that's free money. Go ahead and get that money while you slowly build it up. But that's why you need an emergency savings fund first, before you invest, because when emergencies happen, you've got 3 to 6 months worth of your bill money saved up in a high yield savings account, a money market account. When emergencies happen, you don't have to scramble to your financial advisor and tell him to liquidate your account. You live off the emergency savings fund until you can get yourself back on your feet. 3 to 6 months should be enough to get you there, right? So now we've got that saved. So now that we got that off the box, what should you do with that money? You need to see a financial planner, because the way that we're going to invest your money isn't going to be with blinders on. We have to invest clients' money in their best interest, and their best interest is going to be based on their risk tolerance. Okay. Right. So if you're talking to people about investing money and they never mention your risk, how much amount of risk are you willing to take? This person doesn't really care about you. They care about making a commission off of your money. Right. Because here's the issue. I've got some clients who I could probably create a portfolio for them that makes between 8 to 10%, right? With the type of money they got, we can probably get them to 8 to 10%. But this is going to be an investment that's more geared towards growth. And when you're in an investment that's more geared towards growth, there's going to be swings in the market. And you're going to be looking at your account. One day you're up 5,000. The next day you may be down 2,000, 3,000, right? If you don't have the gut, meaning the risk tolerance, to be able to either look at it and it not spook you, or it doesn't even sweat you to the point where you don't even look at it day to day, right? If you're not one of those types of people, if you're a person that stays up at night because your account is just swinging back and forth and you can't get a good night's sleep, we're probably better off putting you in something that's more safe, that's getting you 6 to 8%, and you can sleep well at night, rather than you getting 8 to 10% and you can't sleep. Because this is all about quality of life, people. Who cares if your account is going up and you can't sleep at night? Right. So that's what I would say. What would I do with that money? Number one, I want to make sure that I'm managing my debt correctly, because I don't want to have my money invested in something that's not outpacing my debt, because that's hustling backwards. Right. No matter how high your investment count goes, your debt is always beating it. Yeah. So we need to make sure that your debt management is squared away. Then we need to also make sure that you have an emergency savings fund, because what good is it to have money in an investment and then an emergency pops up and you got to hurry up and liquidate your account, and you're liquidating at a loss? Who wants to do that? So we need to make sure you got that set up.
And that was one of the things that happened, because just FYI, I was a financial advisor a little bit for Northwest Mutual when I was in college. I worked with them. Yeah, so I know a little bit about the commissions and whatnot. But I had some investments in XRP when I was back when I was playing rugby. But hard times came, just like you said. And I had XRP at about 20 cents. It was a cool 19, 20 cents. And XRP then went up to about $1.70, but I had to cash out all my XRP because something came up and I needed the money. Yes. So I can definitely understand when you're talking about trying to make sure you have money set aside for future, or just for tough situations, because they happen all the time and they happen when you need it most, or when you don't want it to happen the most.
Exactly.